Welcome back, everybody. Episode 41 of the Triathlon Preview Show.
Hello.
So, yeah, we got a couple updates for you guys real fast. A little last weekend, we had Beijing Triathlon, Ironman Wisconsin, Ironman 70.3 Santa Cruz. Alistair took the win at Beijing, and I think Liz Lyles got the win at Wisconsin.
Yep, Holly Lawrence won Beijing on the women's side, and she had a crash. I guess a stray dog ran onto the course or something. I don't think she hit it, but I think she went down avoiding it. But she got up and won.
Yep. So we got a little update on the Fantasy Triathlon. I've had a couple people tweet me, and the update basically is we've had limited response from sponsors really trying to help us, and prizes for people and back us. Obviously, Rudy Project has been very helpful, so we always thank them. And the number of participants have gone down this year. Last year we were doing 50 plus for most events, and this year now we're down to the teens. So there's low response, and honestly, my work has gotten really crazy busy with layoffs, but we have work, so I've been busy and just haven't had time to stay with it for you guys.
Yeah, kind of a bummer, but it's gonna takes time to get everything up and get the contest running. So we're gonna take a break for now, I guess.
Yeah. Fantasy Triathlon will probably take a break for now. We'll see if there's ever a market in the future, but right now it's probably going to go on hold. But that doesn't mean the Triathlon Preview Show is going on hold. We're going to continue strong for the foreseeable future.
Yep, we like doing this, and hopefully it gets information out there about the races and about the athletes that are racing, and kind of breaks it down and makes it a little more interesting than people just swimming, biking, and running around. I mean, not that that's not interesting, but you know what I'm saying. There's always good to have storylines and context.
Yeah, I'd like to mention that we definitely were one of the first. There definitely are other previews out there, but when we first started this, I think everybody did their Kona preview, and that was about it. And now you can look at basically every triathlon website and magazine, and they all have their previews. So it just goes to show that we would just put it out in a different platform, and hopefully we'll get more response in the future from the podcast.
Yeah, for sure. And we get the pro athletes. They're supportive, and I think it's a great thing. And yeah, we'll keep doing it.
All right, well, let's get to some racing. This weekend is the grand final for ITU racing. The racing has already started. We're a little day late, but the U23 races completed. The junior elites completed today. I think both American men and women won the junior races, so that's pretty exciting. But then we have professional men and women this weekend.
Yeah, not surprising. Taylor Knibb took that win. She's a strong cyclist, and then was it Austin Hindman? Is that his name?
Something like that. Yes.
Yeah, took the men's title on the junior side. So good to see the USA is still, that college recruitment program is going strong. So the future looks bright.
All right. Well, let's start with some previews. Cozumel, hot, flat. It's kind of about it. I think, Emily, you have a little update on the swim course, though.
Yeah, I guess last night in the U23 men's race, the current was working against the athletes, so the swim times were long. I think 23 and 24 minutes for 1,500 meters. The elite course is a little bit different. They kind of swim into a marina or something, so I don't know if they're going to encounter the same thing, but that may play a role. The bike is just 8 times 5 kilometer loops, lots of U-turns, and watching the junior and the U23 races, it looked like the roads are kind of narrow and you just kind of have cones in the middle. So it doesn't look like if you have a big group, you'll be able to spread out real wide across a big section of road. So it'll kind of be more long and strung out. And then the run is just 4 times 2.5 kilometer loops, flat, hot, and they actually moved the start times back an hour due to the heat. So both the men and women will be racing at 4:30 Central Time on Saturday, the women, and then Sunday, the men.
Yeah, that doesn't mean it's going to be cool at all, though. I mean, I'm in Central
No.
Time and not too far away from Cozumel, but 4:30 is also really bad. So don't expect the temperatures to be too much cooler at the start
Yeah.
of the race.
Yeah, I think probably they wanted them to be on the run maybe a little bit later in the day, but I mean, it's just going to be so humid and sticky. Like it's going to play definitely a major role in the day. I know a lot of people have been training in Claremont, Florida, or have been in Cozumel for a while, but you definitely be acclimated. But I think you'll see that probably run times might not be as quick. It's just the physiology of it.
All right, let's start with the women's race. The women's race is Saturday, so we'll start there.
Yeah, so I think both you and I looked at the simulator, the podium simulator, and Flora has to finish kind of within 2 spots of Gwen to like if Gwen wins, Flora has to finish second, and then to win the overall, and then if Gwen wins and Flora finishes third, Gwen wins the overall. And then as you go down, like can't they be separated by 2 spots, like 3 and 5? And
Yeah,
then
but then further down, like the points don't get as far
right.
difference. So if they're like both off the podium or something, like the points change. But we're talking, like top four, top five-ish area. If those both finishes, they need that two place separation type.
Right. So if Gwen got third, say, and Flora would have to finish fifth to win. So there's kind of going to be a lot at play, I guess. As you know, one of the two, they kind of need help in a way.
Yeah. They need somebody else to. It can't be both of them racing to the finish line for the win, basically, the win
Right.
and the season title. But something that just noticed, actually, kind of just off the top of my head, is I didn't realize Jody was not racing.
Yeah, Jody Stimpson, she has a tear in her Achilles, so
Yeah.
she shut it down after Edmonton. I don't even think she finished the race in Edmonton. So yeah, she's out. So talk about a bummer of a year for her. Started off great in Abu Dhabi, and you know, then just didn't happen in Gold Coast, and kind of since then, it really hasn't gone that well.
Which opens up for Katie. I mean, Katie would be she's going in with number 3 bib. So if she finishes in that top area, she should be able to finish off finish on the podium in the season rankings.
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of playing around with the thing. I mean, it seems like even if she finishes 6th, depending on where other people finish, she could still get on the podium. Got a good chance for that and has had a strong end to the year. I know the Olympics maybe weren't quite what she wanted, but I think it was just that bike ride at the Olympics really took a toll on people. Coming off, with Nicola kind of driving that train, and I think a lot of people ended up suffering on the run, and it was hot again, but she's had another it's been like almost a month. So I she's definitely probably motivated to have a really good end to the year, especially when Chicago didn't go quite as planned last year.
I guess talking about more about this race, where do we what do you feel like happens in this race as far as where do you see Gwen and Duffy coming out?
I mean, you know, Duffy's always at the front, along with you got Helen Jenkins, Carolina Routier is always at the front of the swim. If it's if there's a current up there, it might get split up a little bit. You got Katie who's going to be at the front of the swim. It's saltwater, so people will be buoyant. But it could break up a little bit, and maybe if the bike course is a little bit technical as far as I don't mean technical, but you got the U-turns and stuff, and the narrow roads might not kind of play towards a large group. So a small group might be able to get away. But I mean, Gwen showed in Rio that I think her cycling is really strong, and I think she's confident with it. So, and I think she probably wants to end well. I mean, I don't know if she's going to retire from triathlon after this or kind of transition over to marathons. So, I mean, I'm sure she wants to end on a good note, and I'm sure she's just in a good space right now because like there's no pressure anymore almost. There is, but there isn't. Like there's not that kind of Olympic thing on the horizon. So, I feel like she's just going to race and kind of be more free in a way. I don't know how to say that, but you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I mean, I agree. I think, and I don't think any obviously she showed that anybody couldn't beat her at Rio, and I feel like this is gonna be the same thing. Um, when it comes down to it, she's the best there is, and she has everything she needs to win the race. Even if somebody gets away on the swim or a little bit here and there, the losses that she had this year, they were just there before Rio. She had one goal. Those races, didn't really matter that much to her. But I think it really, from talking about everybody else though, Summer Cook is racing and she just won Edmonton. So it'll be
Yeah.
interesting to see how she puts it together for the Olympic distance instead of the sprint distance. Um,
Yeah, and she'll be someone that's going to be up in front on the swim. Kirsten Casper will be near the front. So you're going to have a large US contingent. And remember in Yokohama, like Summer was at the front off the bike and kind of ran those first couple laps. So if she's got good 10K endurance and handles the heat well, I think that's going to be really important. I think you're going to see some carnage on the run. And so it might not be the fastest runner who does well. It's the person who manages the heat well on the bike and then on the run and doesn't overheat kind of that first 5K. And someone like Gwen Jorgensen, I think she'll be fine in the heat. I think Ashley Gentle is someone who will be okay in the heat. Um, I think Flores had a really strong year, and that is good, but at the same time, like, is she like just a little bit tired with all that racing? I mean, she was a little bit off in Rio. So was she able to kind of sharpen up and get a little more rest leading into this? I think we'll just see. And Helen Jenkins, like she was sick in Rio, so she's probably going to want to do really well. And if she's on, she can do really well. If she has some help up front, maybe a small group can get away.
yeah, I mean, you always have the consistent Hewitt. She's racing, and I mean, besides Edmonton, I mean, you're talking, she's finished in mostly, I'm pretty sure the top five, maybe once out of the top five, and almost all the other races. So she's definitely a threat to always be there.
Yeah, and we're forgetting to mention too, you got Vicky Holland and Non Stanford, um, two other really strong athletes. So, and I feel like it's the last race of the season. Like there's going to be kind of no holds barred. Like it's like you just have to finish as well as you can, and and that's it. Like there's no like, oh, this is coming up or that's happening, or I just need certain number of points, or I just need a podium to get my Olympic qualification or top 8. It's just everyone's going to go for it and they want to finish strong. And at the same time, it is the last race of the season and people might be kind of like looking beyond it, like looking towards their break or towards something else. And like, do they kind of lose that spark?
Yeah. All right, let's make some picks for the female race then.
Okay, I'll go first.
All right.
I'm gonna quit. I'm gonna pick Gwen to to win. I'm gonna pick um, Jenkins second, and um, Charlotte McShane third.
Ooh.
I don't know where that came from, but I saw her name and she's strong and she didn't make the Australian Olympic team and she got 5th at Yokohama. So what the heck?
All right. I'm going Gwen for the win. And then I am going with I'm gonna go Hewitt with second, and then Summer Cook third.
Ooh, okay. All right. So we both kind of have someone on the podium that other people might not pick.
Yeah, possibly. All right, let's move over to the men. The men's race is just as interesting. You kind of have the two people fighting for at least two people fighting for the world, the season winner, but a lot more people that definitely can win the individual race. I feel like.
Yeah. And I think it's really interesting with Alistair racing because he always likes to win this race. But if Alistair wins, he kind of screws his brother because then his brother, it's harder for him to win the overall. Like, I think Brownlee has to win to win the overall, and Mola has to finish off the podium if I did the simulator right.
Yeah, I was kind of um, messing around and
Because there's only 4 guys that mathematically can win it: Mola, Brownlee, Alarza, and
yes.
Lacroix. So, but if Alistair, like, what if it comes down to Alistair and Johnny are running ahead? Like, say they have a breakaway, the Varga and Aaron Royal, which is completely possible, and Mola's coming up from behind. I mean, but Mola, if Jonathan wins, Mola has to finish off the podium. Like, so would Alistair like let Johnny win?
I see what
You
you're
know,
saying. Yeah,
if Mola's like not close, you know what I'm saying? If they can see that Mola's like in 4th
yeah.
or 5th.
So yeah, like if Brownlee doesn't win, or Jonathan, sorry, if Jonathan doesn't
Right.
win, so he finishes second, Mola has to finish 6th or worse for Jonathan to still win.
Right.
But if Jonathan wins, then Mola can finish
3rd, I think.
third and win. So Mola would have to finish fourth. So 3. So 1 to 4 and 2 to 6 is what I'm saying. Is the separation that Johnny needs on Mola to win.
Right. But I mean, like, say they can see that Mola's in 4th or 5th. Is Alistair going to be like, all right, dude, I'm taking the win?
No,
Or is he going to be like, I'll let you win, Johnny, so you are guaranteed?
no, no way. No way it
So you
happens.
think Alistair would steal it from him and be like,
Alistair is
whatever?
going to steal it from his younger brother all the time.
Oh man. Or like I mean, Alistair just won Beijing. Like, is he just and he won the gold medal? Is he just on like a victory lap and is he just gonna like work really hard on the bike for
Possibly.
Jonathan and then just, you know, get through the run and not even care?
No, I could see. Yes, I could see Alistair doing that. As far as he's going to push the swim and the bike as hard as he can because he wants to make sure that everybody else works for this race. So he knows he's going to push as hard as he can. And whatever happens on the run, whatever happens on the run, he doesn't. I mean, like you said, he might not care. I mean, obviously, there's still money on the line for this race, but I mean, why not push the swim as hard as he can go? I mean, he just won the aquathon, right? So he just
Yeah.
ran, swam, and ran, and won that. So, I could see him pushing the swim and the bike as hard as he can, maybe to create a distance on Mola if Mola's in that chase pack, or bring whoever along with him he can. But I don't think that Alistair's just gonna be like, here you go, like go win, go win a season title. Let me let you win. Like I feel like Alistair's the brother. Like if you want to win, you better beat me. Like let's go. Earn what
But
you
or would
deserve.
he Or is he gonna be like, "Dude, I got the gold medal, like, you take this one, like, here's your consolation prize."
I could beat you, but I'll let you have this.
Right. I mean, I'm sure they are fine as far as money. Like, I don't even think it's about the money for them. Like, I mean, obviously they like to get a nice check, but I'm sure they're doing very well, and I'm sure they got great bonuses for their 1, 2. Um, I just think I'm really interested to see what happened. And at the same time, like, neither of them has done great. Well, they did actually pretty well in the heat of Rio. I think it'll be a little bit hotter here. Yeah, that was a bad statement. They did well in the heat of Rio, but they were so far ahead, they were able to temper their effort at the beginning of the Rio run and not overheat. Whereas, like, if Mola's with them off the bike, like, I'm sure Mola's gonna, like, push the pace in hopes that maybe they'll blow up at 7.5K, because you've seen that happen. Like, that happened to Jonathan in Gold Coast, which is a long time ago, and he's completely different fit wise. But I would think that would be, if they're off the bike altogether, that would be something that Mola would do, because I think Mola can run really well in the heat.
I think that Johnny and Alistair have proven that they're the best two right now. I mean, obviously Gomez is not racing,
Yeah.
but I mean, Alistair winning Rio and then going to win Beijing, and then Johnny finished second in Rio and then winning Edmonton. I mean, like, they're in, peak shape, and and they're winning. I think we'll see. I mean, Mola, if he's close to that front swim pack, which he's only been like 1 or 2 races, he's fine. I mean, he's good.
Right.
But when he's in that chase pack, the Brownlees push that front pack so much that chase pack is not. They're only falling backwards, and it seems like the chase pack is never as organized as the front pack. So,
Oh, no.
I just. I think it's all in the swim. Like, for Mola, it needs to be the swim. He's got to put himself in a spot on the swim to not lose the race, because I don't think he can't make up enough time on Johnny and Alistair on the run if he's coming off that chase pack, if they're so far down. I mean, yeah, he's going to have a better run than them probably, but Alistair and Johnny are just so much better swim bikers than Mola is, because they get in that front pack.
Yeah, I agree. And they have Varga up there working with them. I think someone to look out for, just because he's racing at home, is Grajales. I think, he could, like, sneak into the top 5 or sneak onto the podium, and he's a great runner, especially in the heat. And if it's kind of a bigger group coming off the bike, I would look out for him. I just wanted to mention him real quick because I think he could do well.
Yeah, I mean, let's see here. It was Johnny, Schumann, and Varga, right? I mean, they showed on Edmonton that they can go and they can, be by themselves. And obviously it was only a sprint, but there's capable bikers that come out in the front of the, with those swimmers, that it's just so hard for anybody in that chase pack to really have an influence in the race. Obviously Mola and Murray, they can run themselves up to the podium. They've done it. But we're talking about, can they run themselves up for the win? And I just feel like that deficit's just too much most of the time.
Yeah, I think if they want to win, it would need to all come together, and then they would have to have kind of I mean, I think Mola can run with the Brownlees. We haven't seen Murray do it because he just hasn't been in that situation, but that doesn't mean that he can't. But I think we've seen it. It's the same thing. I mean, the Olympic race was a great race, but at the same time, it was kind of boring because you knew what was going to happen. Like, and that's what the Brownlees do. They're not going to, like, dick around on the bike. Like, they're going to make it as big a gap as they can.
They don't. I mean, yeah, you don't want to get They know. Well,
They're not stupid.
Yeah, they're not dumb. They know what they have to do. They don't even want to put themselves in that predicament. They don't want to even they don't want them to have to outrun Mola, and they might be able to do it. Like, and they could, even if there's 3 of them there, they have 2/3 of a shot of beating him. I mean, there's 3 there, but they're smart enough. They don't want to have to run that fast to beat them. They just want to beat each other.
Right.
They beat up on the little brother, beat up on the older brother. That's they're happy doing their work on the bike, and they know that they can do enough on the work on the bike to not influence their run still.
Yep, I agree. So let's do picks.
Okay, I'll
Who
go
do you think?
first.
Okay.
So I'm going with, which kind of contradicts what I was saying, but I'm going to go with Johnny for the win. But I don't
Okay.
think Alistair will be there after 5K. And then I'm going to go with Bailey and then Mola.
Okay. I'm gonna go. I think Alistair is so damn competitive. He doesn't want to lose the big races. Like you see it before. He just shows up like he has no chance of winning the overall title as like the series title, but he wants to like show everybody like I can win this one. And I am the best. So I'm gonna go Alistair, Mola, and then Johnny's gonna fade to third. And Grajales is gonna be fourth. I don't know.
All right.
All right. And we mentioned Rudy Project before, but don't forget use Try Preview when you shop there. I'm sure they have sales going on or whatever.
Yeah, and we are not sure what we're doing next week. We'll both be in Oklahoma City Racing ITU Long Course Worlds. So we'll decide next week how the week's going and if we have time for a show.
Yeah, and if you're going to be in Oklahoma City next week, next Wednesday at Elemental Coffee, 7 p.m. on Wednesday, we're having a little hangout, have some cold beers, some swag from Focus and Smash Fest and Oral IV and Rudy Project. We're going to have some glasses to give away. So come on out. We'll just relax.
Yeah, hit us up on Twitter if you're going to be in Oklahoma City next week.
All right. Talk to you later.